sharing and empowerment and stories about Greece retreat also for you guys.
So hi, greetings everyone, and thank you for joining live or maybe on replay. But the more we are live, the better it is if you have questions so we can answer you. So we haven't been online for a while in sharing updates, so we decided to plan that for this week, especially with what is happening in the environment as well, in the collective, how we've been observing you guys in the community, and in a general aspect, there are a couple of things we would like to share with you, even before we start about sharing about Greece. So, the theme of today will be about presence, will be about the environment, so the outside reflecting in the inside, and fears and contracts really. So having a bit of understanding here, not too long, but enough for you to understand and have a couple of input here if it is resonating with you. And after that, we will speak about Greece. We have selected 6 sites out of the 15 sites that we will visit for the Greece retreat, which is in May, 1st to 8th May. And yes, we will share our experience as well. We will share why we have selected those sites, how it is resonating with us, what we would like to share with you, and giving you as well the freedom to tune in those sites if you are joining, and if you are in a space where you are hesitating to join, we hope that it will give you this resonance, this vibration, this attraction to come and join us to the retreat. And after that, we will share the intensive that is happening next weekend. So you get also prepared for Greece to build your field of resonance, to build your energetical structure, so you can tap with ease, with grace, with high frequency into every site that we will visit in Greece.
Yes. So while we're watching outside, the wind is strong today. And
Mathilde was talking about just flew.
we're talking about calming and presence and so on. And I look at the laundry outside, and the wind like literally blew it. It didn't fall. It just
lifted up,
and then sit on the chair. And we were like holding our presence, like looking at the laundry, being lifted and coming back. So good, we are mastering presence here, and the storm is calming outside. So that's good. Also, good way to look at it. That no matter how much outside it seems chaotic, it seems stormy, it seems out of control. The outside always is testing us, testing your own growth, your own presence, how much you will hold the space, how much you will not be affected, how much you will know that you also, your consciousness, play the biggest role in the environment to reflect back to you. We always mention this, your frequency, your emotion, your thought, your presence, all of you, this make you all, is what the universe listening and reflecting back to you, your frequency. So if you're carrying fears, if you're carrying worries, if you're carrying doubt, then the universe outside, the outside always will show you some of those reflection in certain way to tell you that you have a weakness you haven't worked on, you have something you need to clear, you need to bring your trust in yourself and trust in the universe when you are in alignment. And this comes to the topics that we want to start before even going to the Greece retreat, is the epidemic that's happening right now that everyone is talking about in the news, which is the virus, coronavirus. I understand that so humanity, we've been, as a collective consciousness in the history, we've been in many kind of those epidemic and disease spreading and fears and death and all these, which is 100% true, happens in the past. But you have to understand that all these, they were a part of the growth of our consciousness, and that's not only for our consciousness growth, for our vessels, our smartness, our dealing with life. And we have passed as humanity through many of these, and we overcome them. Now in the past, some of them that we maybe still carry as a genetic, as a collective, like for example the plague, the fears of that happens in Europe and other kind of big traumatic diseases. Now at that time we didn't have a strong consciousness, we didn't have the capacity and the technology at that time to face those kind of reflection from the reality and diseases. Now, nothing wrong in that. If you look at it from a higher perspective, you don't judge it as a bad, you're judging it as we are growing as a species and we could not have learned enough to be so powerful in our presence and smart and how to deal. And if you go to those story, you'll know that most of them came either because, for example, humanity, they were packed in certain area and they didn't know how to do hygiene, or there is some story behind it make that epidemic become so big. So they always reflect back to humanity to teach humanity to grow, overcoming those challenges and becoming smarter, wiser, and know how to deal with it. Now in these days we are way more smarter and we are still growing. We need more to be even mastering all our reality, and eventually as ascension, as a species, as we are speeding up and accelerating to actually in our wisdom, technology, and consciousness and spiritual awareness, we're getting our power back. And that's, we need to master it now and know that those past experience, we don't need to carry them on our shoulder. Actually, we need to heal them and drop them and understand they were teaching us about our own weaknesses and our unpresence state, and knowing that the power always within, no matter how much outside it seems. If you hold your presence and know that outside is teaching you to grow, then you know how to deal with it, and then you thank that outside, saying thank you for showing me some of my weaknesses, I'm going to overcome them and bring more presence. And the big part is trust. From all what I just shared, and in the past 2 weeks we were talking about, most of the time when we are triggered and we are afraid from something outside, or we are not able to take the step required, or we have judgment about how we should control life and afraid of letting go and all these, it comes back to trust. Trusting yourself, trusting that your consciousness is part of the divine and you are divine spark. Trusting when you are in that alignment and knowing that you can bring divine presence and your consciousness is part of the divine, then you trust life and you trust the universe that is always align you to the highest best. And no matter how outside reflecting, it's always teaching you, telling you you have a weakness, you have not trust yourself, you are not trusting the universe, you are not bringing that presence, you are not getting enlightened. Please do that. So I disappear, the reality, the storm disappear basically. So please, we invite you to do that. And I'll jump to another topic also here. We're going to dedicate Sunday. We were doing always Sunday, and we recently I shifted it to a less practices, because our community, which is they are growing of course and they're getting busy time to time. The plan was to do a project. The project is next level project of unconditional love, where we gather this energy, this presence, this unconditional love frequency, and we can use it to heal some of the collective consciousness, some of the traumatic experience from the humanity, and use it for bringing peace and healing and harmony to our life. So we're going to dedicate this Sunday for the fears and the trauma and the mistrust with ourselves about what's happening in our reality, especially corona viruses. So that will be Sunday. Come and join us if you are in the part of the community, and if you are not, you can just tune and meditate with us on Sunday, where we are doing this work, healing and processing and understanding the importance from witnessing those fears and remembering the trust and sending that trust to the collective consciousness. This is how it works. Few individual will they get themselves empowered, process on behalf of the others, and applaud their understanding, their wisdom, and their bringing this love and healing to the collective consciousness to become available to many. So many people, when they're getting this panic attack and fears, they can process it easily. Today Mathilde was mentioning that some of the children in the school, they're getting this kind of was it panic attack you mentioned? Anxiety of about the close virus, I'm afraid, this.
Because
Some of them, they will come from their real childhood right now. Like if you look, this child have experienced already mistrust about losing parent, losing something in his life, and now he lost that trust. Or they might come from genetic, from the whole collective consciousness of fears of that humanity. We are fragile and we are afraid. Beside which side, both of them, they are indicating, as those children showing this anxiety, indicating that there is a weaknesses have not been held, have not been processed, have not been healed, and have not grown up So please don't look at it as how we can stop him from anxiety. Understand the learning that comes from it, and then take the action required to process that learning and the growth and healing that whatever is still holding, either from this life or from the collective consciousness. And then you'll find that those symptoms will disappear because they were telling the parents that look here, there is a weakness, need to be evolving, need to be processed. This is the path of self-realization and enlightenment. Basically, we are in ascension time. We need to understand the importance of all those messages telling us to grow. That's the highest things, and trusting.
Exactly, and this is one of the messages you shall really hear now in this moment, I will say, especially with all that we are experiencing. And before we start talking about Greece, this is what we are here for, talking about Greece, but this is a very good introductory topic before we bring Greece, and I will share why as well. But let me resume in basically in 2 points here. When George is sharing about this a trust investment or a trust issue or a trust topic here, is basically when you are in the space of trust, you are in a place of love. And my 2 points here that I would like to bring forward and to share with you is the first one being the environment, and George shared it and brought all these aspects here, and I'm going to bring other aspects there so you can really gather all this information to make your own discernment and your own reflections and your own process as well, where you are at right now in those circumstances. So the first one being the environment, and the environment is a beautiful assessment for you to look at where you are at now. If you are watching this video, it's because you are already on your spiritual path, and being on the spiritual path and your spiritual growth, you become a pillar as you choose to, and you declare your readiness. You become a pillar for the humanity as we go through difficult time that we will experience more and more. As we stretch our consciousness, as we bring all this light through, there will be the extreme, the polarity on our earth plane. We are evolving and relearning and ascending and realizing ourselves through duality and separation. So the more we become in our center and united, the more chaos will also happen as an equal balance of love and fear and dark and light as well. So this is how much we perceive the light, that we are not putting ourselves in a place where we are unstable. So it's all about stability in our trust, stability in your love, and stability in assessing and witnessing the environment being a reflection of you. So if today there are some worries or fears that are rising throughout the environment, for us, we are not seeing it at all. We are perceiving it through you guys talking to us. But this environmental crisis or epidemic crisis is just not in our spectrum of reality at all. But we can understand, and we know that it is, but we are not perceiving it. So I tapped this morning a little bit into it to see what is the fear there and how am I resonating with that. So it's a beautiful process for you to see where are your core fears residing if you look at what is external of you, and having that resonance and keeping in mind and keeping in your heart that this is a way for you to be even more solid in your core, to accompany others, and how to accompany them to overcome their fears once you have overcome yours, whatever is resonating in that moment now. So the first one is environment is what is outside you or you perceive as outside you that reflects something within you, and coming back there, which is my second point, presence. What is presence? Right now we can see that there's different aspects of presence that can be felt and shared. I am present, I am looking at it. But what I'm observing from you guys and what I'm observing from the environment is there's a very fine line between I am in my presence, but presence is not being inactive or being passive. Presence is active, because in your presence you are mindful about everything that arises, about what is coming into your perceptions, whether it's physical perceptions, emotional perceptions, and mental perceptions. So what is arising in me, so I can realign it, so I make actions and choices for moving forward. And moving forward means creating by default the future that you are choosing to create according to the mindfulness that you are choosing to be in, that state to be in. So there is the present. Being in the present is an active action, I will say. But what I also observe is people who are present but passive. They are present waiting for something to happen and making choices on their behalf, so it feels safe and you feel like I'm not alone here, so I will be present, and in my present I will be passive, or I will be controlling. So controlling means of fear, so I will be controlling my environment so I feel safe. And really find the in between here, or the balance here, the very fine line, the edge where you are present, being mindful, taking actions according to what is happening, or being present and controlling, or being present in waiting for something, so in the passive. So when we are passive, we become victim of our environment. When we are passive, we become victim of the environment that's gonna create an impact and feel that something is happening to you that you are not in control of, therefore you're gonna create extra control so you feel safe. I really would like you to see those two really fine lines here, so we can now start and address Greece. So whatever you feel now in terms of resonance, in terms of calling, in terms of feeling where you are now in this present moment, in the here and now, with everything that you are, what is my choice that is going to be, that is the best for me in this moment, to align to my truth, to align to my love, to align to, to align to my love, to align. To align with my divine self, to align with my higher self.
And it's always an alignment somewhere.
Yeah, yes. So getting that high frequency alignment and sticking to it no matter what happens, because you have decided, whether you have forgotten that, you have decided to be a pillar of light. And a pillar of light is an alignment. A pillar of light is mindful, in mindfulness of every single moment and actions. A pillar of light is initiating trust in others, trust in love, is an inspiration. A pillar of light trusts himself or herself above all, and is in a self-love. In self-love, we don't have fears. In self-love, we full trust. In self-love, we don't let ourselves being affected by our environment. And this is what is my message for you today, what we were trying to explain the last couple of Mondays, last couple of talk. So it really come into a beautiful sequence today, through processing and having more clarity, more discernment of those frequencies coming in. Trust, love, everything come always back to trust, self-love and discernment, and assessing what is serving my truth.
Yes. Let's digest this a bit, because sometimes when we are talking, if you're not allowing those information, those realization to settle, then the next thought and whatever is happening in reality will start taking over, and the whole realization will just disappear. So allow it to sink in.
Take a deep breath in it before we move on the exciting topic of the Greece retreats.
So remind yourself, make this anchor, this reminder. Whenever you get triggered by outside story or confusion or storm or something unpleasant, most of the time when something unpleasant, either as an emotion or an outside story, it triggers us. Alright? Remind yourself, when you get triggered, catch yourself getting triggered and understand, yes, I'm reacting to that because I still have some fear, some weakness within me. Nothing wrong in that. Process it. Allow it to happen in you without getting overwhelmed by that incident, by that trigger, by that emotion. Allow the emotion to happen without getting overwhelmed by being sucked by those emotion or by those triggers. And once you start bringing your awareness and presence, okay, it's happening with me, that's what's happening, God, I got it, there is something I need to witness. Remind yourself, you need to process it, you need to understand, it's telling you something. Don't judge it immediately and don't fight it and don't say, oh, I should be positive. Relax a bit, just understand, it's telling you something. It's there for your growth. Remind yourself with those words. If trigger happens, it's telling you something, it's there for your growth. Once you are aware of that and remind yourself, says, okay, what I'm learning from this, what should I grow out of it? Remind yourself with those words. And then you will act upon it completely in different aspect and completely in different approach. You will not get overwhelmed, and your learning will be collected and your growth will be collected. And if you really collect your growth out of it, which is always come back to love yourself, trust the universe, and allow yourself to go in alignment with the love or with the love, so divine love or partner love, any kind of unconditional love that you perceive, and trust yourself in that sense. Remind yourself, whatever is there is teaching you to grow, and trust yourself and align. And there is some action you need to act, but that action will still be for your growth. When you go into that perspective, if you collect that growth, that outside environment has to go, has to disappear, because it finished its role to teach you. So please remember this. If you want more details to understand this, we teach it. Come join us on Sunday talks. Come join us in tonight's meditation, unconditional love, so you can experience it.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yes. Let's join
And my
for
love is now
that.
excited
Yes,
now to
because
jump to
I
the
saw
next
there were
topic.
so many of you online, and now it's dropping. I'm like, I want to talk about Greece. You have the iPad, babe?
Yes.
So for this, I decided when I put the dress this morning, like literally 2 minutes before the talk, it takes 30 seconds for me to get ready. I've seen that crown, which is on my mirror, and I'm going to wear it to announce Greece. So I already feel like I am in Greece as bringing the goddess and the nymph.
The goddesses
And the oracle.
We talk about the oracle. It's a very important topic. We're going to visit a place which was the land of all oracles. The whole idea of how humanity understand oracle came from that place. So please stay with us so you can see all this picture and information that Mathilde will share with you.
So we are going to introduce 6 sites. So we are going to visit in Greece retreat, which is from the 1st to 8th of May. The links is somewhere on the video. Those 6 sites that we have selected, we're going to share a couple of information here and there so you can grasp the information. We're going to share pictures also, so as I'm explaining some aspect of the sites, you can tune in with the pictures. I would like you to remind yourself, as we're going to share those information, is know that each time you enter a site, your resonance, your heart, your connections, your readiness, wherever you are at, you will tap into the energetic field of the sites. Whatever is important for you to receive, you will receive it. So it's as if there are many, many, many timelines in one side that is a high vibrational frequencies. You arrive with your vortex of light, and this is going to be discussed a bit more with Asil and George this Saturday in a private talk. So you are welcome and invited to join.
Saturday, 8:30 p.m. Dubai time.
Yeah. So how to prepare your vessel, how to prepare to enter a site, what's happening when you have a strong resonance in your heart, a strong resonance into your field, and you are tuned with your energetical aspect and connection, so you can receive those information, the stream of light that carries informational codes for you to receive. And there will be many ways for you to get that code and to translate it. So with your psyche, your senses, extrasensory senses. So the more you practice, the more you are tuned in, the more you connect, the more you surrender into a site, the more you receive regarding to what you are ready to receive. So I will share a couple of information that resonates with me. It doesn't mean that it will resonate with you now, but know that when you will enter the site, you will receive complementary information, different information maybe, some specific information because you had an experience there, or your soul, your higher self, your fractal self, your multidimensional selves, your collective connections will remind you of experiences that have happened in these sites, because you are in that moment ready to receive it for your growth. It can be gifts, it can be realization, it can be information that will bridge nodes and information that you are already aware of, so it makes you stronger into your path of realization and spiritual gifts to bring it forward. So those those flowers. Those information, I'm going to share a couple of them in different sites picked for this talk today. So first we're going to start with the Acropolis, obviously, which is our starting point in Greece. You show the picture? Maybe?
Yes. First one?
Yeah.
So see this gorgeous place.
So put it, yeah, probably here. Like, come here. So this first site is the first day. Remember that Greece is our entry point to the sacred sites and work in Europe, the same way that Egypt was for the Middle East. Turkey was the closing point, I would say, of almost of the Middle East. Can you carry, love?
Yes.
For the Middle East. And that opens up the door for Greece. In Greece, you will have that experience of tapping into the wisdom of the site, the religions, the mythology as well, the scientific aspect. Put it more closer. The scientific aspect, the philosophic aspect with Plato, who has initiated the music of sphere with the Platonic solid, the sacred geometry, that has revisited the sacred geometry that we are using now in our art and music, that we are using it in archaeology, in medicine, in sound. If you've done the sound healing course with me, this is a big topic of sacred geometry that came from the sacred, from Plato and the Platonic solid, and how music has been created and how it becomes sound healing. So this will be in all sites in Greece, as every single site are basically, most of them are for gods and goddesses from the Greek mythology. So the Acropolis, funny enough, the Acropolis was before that the cosmic pyramid that has been created at that spot, but has been destroyed by an earthquake, and then this phenomenon. Just don't move, babe. The phenomenon building this temple has been raised from Earth. So this energy, even if this cosmic pyramid that you are not aware of, that there's no picture about it, this cosmic energy is still active. But we will see how much active it is when we will enter the site. So this Parthenon was built on its site, and this formed a portal where the higher wisdom from Orion pours through. Once again, we will see and maybe feel in those energy, and you may reconnect if you have a lineage with Orion. So there are 33 spiritual laws that are laid down by the high priest of Thoth in Atlantis. So after the falling of Atlantis, those pyramid has been created, and now it's the Acropolis, the Pantheon, and the high priest Thoth in Atlantis implemented there 33 spiritual laws. And those laws were taught by Horus, and that led all the Babylonians toward their path as well. So the wisdom of Orion is about the spiritual laws of the universe. So great energies that you will be able to tap into, that you'll be able to feel, and enable everything to work in perfect divine order. So that is how we can share with you these energies. If it does resonate, thumbs up. If not, let's see on site what will come up for us all on our individual journey, as a collective journey, exactly, in the group.
So also Mathilde was mentioning that we should remind you guys that we will share those information that we tune and we feel, yes, and it's known for humanity. Yet most of the time, every individual in the journey, in the retreat, we experience it in Turkey retreat and Egypt retreat, they will have their own version.
Yes.
Some of them, they collect some past life experience. Some of them, they will collect some collective understanding. Some of them will collect healing, or some consciousness that bring wisdom through that site. Because all those sites, civilization pass through it. And not only just pass through it, because they were important points. So there is a lot of collective energy in every site. It's a vortex by itself. So every individual tap into it according to your frequency, your connection, you receive a new information. And then when we meet, that generally the case, which is very nice, when we meet after every site, you will hear the story of the participant, and then you connect the dot, and that's beauty. It's like rehearsing a movie theater that we never talked about, and everyone said, I saw this and I felt that, and said, yeah, I felt that too, and this is what will happen. And then when you hear all the story, it's just like orchestrated.
So there's like
It's
synchronicity and coherence, if you will. So as a group, as individual experience, and as a collective group, so it's always very magical. So there are sites that are way stronger, that will really rise confirmation for everyone. And some of the sites that I'm going to share with you today, they are also same names or same similar energy that we've been in Turkey, like Hagia Sophia, the Church of the Apostle,
Church of Apostles, yes.
Temple of Apollo, and things like this. So you may feel and tune in, knowing that the core of the energy of those sites that we visited in Turkey are in Greece. So the next one
that's
I would
the
like
beauty of it. So you continue the journey if you were in Turkey.
Yeah, so the next one I would like to share with you is the Church of Apostles. So below the Acropolis. Yes, perfect. So George is going to show you. So the Church of the Apostle is originally from the 2nd century. This is what I read. And this monument, so that's going to be where women, you will start feeling, and men as well, this feminine abundant energy in Greece, because it's very feminine energy after all as well. Like there are some stream of energy that really rise those sacred feminine, with all the goddesses, with all the sacred sensuality or sacred even sexuality, with the rise of the feminine before it fell. So this monument honored the nymphs. The nymphs were the beautiful dancers. How can I describe the nymph? They were the dance, the representing the arts in all forms. And this monument was created to honor the nymph. And usually it includes also a fountain. The Church of the Holy Apostle was built on its foundations. So interesting how churches and religious sites are really most of the time built on sites that were from Druids or from Greek mythology that they call pagan. So they will use that vortex of energy to build religious sites.
So this is the case always with most of the sites. Humanity understood while they are growing and civilization is growing that those places that been chosen before, or that been having some of old temple or some importance for the old civilization, when the new civilization comes, recognize, especially with the spiritual awakened people in that society, that civilization, recognize that, well, this point is very important, let's build on top of it so we can grow and continue. And some of the site you will witness, as I mentioned about individual experience, you will mention that there is a civilization all the way beneath it, that you can tap into the wisdom and understanding. You might discover that you will know information, you go and research, and you start like, oh my god, I felt that information, I felt that guidance. And some of the sites, they have 6 layers depth of civilization and wisdom, and this is a very spiritual awakening experience, because you start trusting your psychic, you're trusting your intuition, trusting that all those energy and the civilization still living, and our collective consciousness can continue growing even if you think you are separated from society or from collective consciousness.
So in the Church of the Apostle, you may tap into the temple that was built for the nymphs. You may tap into I think it's a Byzantine church. The church itself that was created in the 10th of century, and that actually started the era of abundance for Athens. So you may tap into this golden abundance of the 10th century in Athens. So you will see, and let's see what we will tap into when we're going to be there.
Yes.
So the next site is Sophia. That's a beautiful site. You have the pictures?
I have only one, actually.
Okay. So Sophia, the Sophia Church of Acropolis, which is close by Acropolis, obviously. And the temple was dedicated to actually the goddess Athena. And Athena was considered to be the goddess of Sophia, which means wisdom in Greek. So if you've been with us in Turkey, you remember probably the potent energy in the Hagia Sophia. So it's a church, and that you can visit. This one is a church that is in ruin. I haven't really checked if there is like a solid construction where we will be able to go inside. Probably there is a small one, but that is the archaeological site. So the blessing of Sophia, she had 3 daughters: faith, love, and hope. So all these qualities that you require in the now, if you have followed the beginning of our talk. So her 3 daughters were called faith, love, and hope. So they were surrounding the community and protecting the foundation there as well. So that is about this beautiful Sophia Church, recollecting the wisdom. If you have been with us, you know the divine qualities of the diamond light bodies, with the wisdom, the love, and faith and hope are also byproducts of the diamond bodies qualities. Next, babe.
Actually, I'm getting some pictures also for Hajja Sophia. Can we show them?
No,
also?
This is in Turkey.
This is Turkey, yes,
Yeah.
but this one.
So the next site that we have picked for you this morning is Capsunion with Poseidon. So
yes.
So this is at the edge of the country, so surrounding the ocean. So it's like 3 sides. So you have like an aerial
and see the size of all those columns. Those ancient temples, they have a depth of mythology and architect that's mind-blowing. And you can see when you come closer to those columns, this is our experience also in Turkey and in Egypt, the resonance and the energy that come through those stones, because those stones are very ancient and very big and been working with the energy for a long time. There is a preserved energy around them, and when you enter, you are as if you're entering a portal, and the stone itself, they will create a resonance for you to connect even further and get higher guidance and wisdom.
Yes. So this Poseidon is obviously one of the main mythology gods. Did it stop the live talk? Are we still live? Can you check, babe? I have an error loading on my phone.
It's okay.
Okay, so Poseidon is the god of the sea, very obviously famous in the mythology. Yes, it works. Okay, very famous in the mythology, and this temple has been created as per the understanding on sacred geometry structural template, where it's exactly aligned in a triangle with Delphi and the Apollo temple in Delphi that I'm going to share with you, and the Parthenon in Athens, which is dedicated to the goddess Athena. So you have this triangle of Apollo, Athena, and Poseidon becoming the peak points just on the headlands and surrounded by the beautiful sea. If you go, baby, can you check? Yes, you have an aerial. Yes, this one is a beautiful one. You see where the temple can be on there, just beautiful. And it was built before Christ, 444 years before Christ,
this
apparently.
View on the top.
Yeah,
it's like you're reaching a moment of high vortex around or surrounded by the sea.
Yeah. So we had a wonderful conversation with one of our very dear friend Rob, that he's receiving all these understandings from the blue ray, which is also the ray of Archangel Michael, Poseidon, the Hindu god Shiva, and another blue avatar. So they are representing in this, as per his channeling and his receiving this divine blue ray, is the Christ consciousness in action, and is connecting to our higher mind, our higher actions to bring forth the Christ consciousness. So Poseidon was apparently one of those gods. We haven't cross-checked this information. We like also to share what our dear friend that we trust as well are receiving, and I believe it's going to be a beautiful way to tap into those energy with the god of the sea, that was one of the main powerful god in the mythology, and what is the energy he is willing to share with us as we enter the site.
There's another picture also.
Yes, we have
for the Poseidon's temple.
Yeah, so it's like a structure standing
alone. When you are
alone.
small and all this energy around, and you are entering a place where all those high energies being served there, and lot of people with faith and connection.
Praying
You're
and-
entering a vortex, and you tap into that wisdom from civilization. And you, with the guidance, what we build as a community and with the channel, we're going to reach to the most higher frequency from all these. So if you go with our session, because every site when we go there with Asil will be like a mini session of Asil if you attended Asil session. So imagine the depths and the theta brainwaves and the depths of connection that you can open up there with a very safe container of energy with the higher angels and higher realms. You are literally taking the cream of energy from that side. If you go by yourself, it will not be the same. You will still have a nice experience, but it will not be as high, tight, structure energy with the higher realms. So it's an opportunity if you want to experience that and bring that to your spiritual growth. And your vessels, and also we mentioned this, we're going to mention it on Saturday with the talk with Asils. Your vessels as a cellular memory and the DNA and the electricity and electromagnetic wave, which is mean the aura and the energy that your energy channels can carry, will upgrade with receiving those high frequency filaments that's coming through. So literally, if you are a healer, or if you are a coach, or any kind of in service, you're upgrading your vessels basically. And we witness it through all who attend who attend Egypt and Turkey. Their evolution, they're evolving in their vessels and in their service expanded.
So can you imagine this, I would say, very private experience in this group that is gathering for the upcoming retreat? It's very exclusive experience as well. I believe it's like, yes, it's not that I believe, it's I know it's one of a lifetime experience. Like each time it creates so much change and so much growth and so much difference between the you before and the you 1 week later. So we are very, very happy to be able to deliver that and to accompany you on those trip, or to hold space as well for you on this trip, because you have experienced it in many ways, in many countries, on 100 sites. Like I think if we gather everything from in 2 years, we may have been to almost 100 sites. So
can you imagine?
We are sharing with you this wisdom and this experience, so you can gather the potency of it. So thank you guys for still joining, and any questions, please do ask. The next site that I would like to share with you that we have
Delphi,
picked,
right? No.
Is Delphi. Yeah.
You want to go to Zeus temple, then Delphi?
No, Delphi straight.
Delphi straight to.
Yeah.
You sure? Because Delphi is the last one. What about the Zeus
No,
temple?
no, Delphi is next. The next one will be Naxos. We are almost at the end. So
but
Delphi.
we didn't talk about Zeus.
It's okay, maybe next time.
Okay, let me show you the picture of Zeus so you get excited, because Mathilde, she's not going to talk about it. This how they visualize the Zeus temple looks like, and I want you to see the size of the human next to the temple. Can you imagine this? It's one of the very, very powerful structure, and it's considerably like high frequency, and all the important deities connected there at that mythology. And I want to show you what have left from it. You're going to experience this. Still, this column of stone will be so big that you will be like at that size. It's very, very powerful. I have another picture here of it, and this another picture, and you can see the size of the human here. You can see, imagine all this huge, and the whole area around it, of course, is very famous, and it carries a lot of energy also.
So one other site that resonates very strongly is Delphi. Delphi or Delphi? How do you say in English?
Delphi, I think.
Delphi. So I will do it with my French accent. Delphi.
Yeah, you pronounce it the way you like. I'll pronounce it in Arabic. Mathilde will pronounce it in Francais. You pronounce it in German,
your language. So the name Delphi. So that's gonna be such a rise and blossom into woman, because the roots of the name means womb. Delphi means womb.
It will be very special. I'm so looking forward for Delphi, because the oracle energy, all those wisdom that on the ancient time they used to connect with the oracle to get guidance. So you will tap to your awakening psychic power and connection with the guidance through the site because it carried collective consciousness. All the oracles at that time, they were sitting here, and it was the city of oracles.
So this place was actually the temple for the god Apollo, and it was considered the center of the world by Zeus. So Apollo is the son of Zeus, and Apollo is the god of beauty, of art, of healing, of music, of light, and so on. So god Apollo, when he was there, he appointed Pythia as the oracle of Delphi. And the sanctuary became home to the oracle of Delphi and the priestess Pythia, who was famed in the ancient world for diving into the future and divining the future, and was consulted before all major undertaking. So this site is the most famous oracle site of the ancient world and still remains today. This cosmic energy there is a sacred place of the renaissance of the light within humans. So it's how potent is this site where the light rebirth within human, and especially you, if you are coming part of the group, is where you may tap into aspect of yourself where you come into your wisdom, into your inner knowing.
Oracle, seer, they call it all those old time. Even Egypt time, or Lemurian time, Atlantean times, or Greece time, or even if you have been reincarnated in India, all those times, a lot of people, they were seers, they were oracles, and you will tap to that energy to reawaken it through you. See this?
I mean, we say you, but you will tap into, and you will have your own experience.
To be honest, in my experience and in my research and my questioning, most of the people who's on the service, or a healer, or yoga, or coach, you have been several times experiencing some of those growth, or seeing, or connection. Most of the time, all those people, I would say 99%, they have witnessed divine guidance, or such an expanded state of wisdom are coming through, or guidance coming through. And sometimes you work on it, sometimes you suppress it because society were suppressing you, or you're afraid of it. So now we are in this ascension time. It's time to reawaken it.
If you are feeling drawn to Atlantis, if you're feeling drawn to Egypt, if you feel drawn to Greek mythology, that is because a part of you is within you is resonating with a part of you that have lived or had an experience, and is calling to be retrieved and to be known, or to be seen. So where are you, baby, in those pictures?
Yes, I'm in Delphi still. I'm so enjoying. It's so good. It's so beautiful.
Can you feel the energy in the pictures?
Just look at it.
So yeah, that's
you
how.
enter and just like. Poof.
Yeah, that's how is our perception, and really our desire for you to feel what we are sharing in our experience, and in the experience of the retreat groups usually. And the last site that we will share is about.
There is still more details, other site, but those are the major that Mathilde.
Because we have 15 sites in Greece, so we just picked 6 of them.
It will be like
today.
really spiritual boot camp from site to site, connection, feeling the energy, meditating, and move the next one, and expansion.
So the last site is on Naxos Island, and Naxos Island is basically the largest island in the Cyclades, and the most fertile island as well. So talking about femininity, womb, fertility, nymphs, it's also one of somehow I didn't know. I read it this morning or yesterday. That is one of the most fertile islands. So it's very interesting. So what we're going to visit in Naxos, we are going to, one of the sites is Portara, which is this big marble door. Do you have it? This
like
big marble door. Yes. Yeah, that has been.
Look at this portal.
Created like part of a temple.
The other realms. You access the spirit realms.
That has been created 2,500 years ago. Part of the temple has been reused throughout the island, so it's very common to see marble pieces in constructions and old places. Going through there, we actually go through Byzantine environment and church as well in terms of the feeling and the vibes of the island. So this old marble doorway is facing directly towards Delos, which is another island that we will visit in a smaller group. but that has also sacred sites to reactivate and work on. So it's directly had the access on the Delos Island. And this temple or this door was also the apparently Apollo's birthplace. So let's see if it's also accurate. So we are sharing in this Naxos island the hotel we will also be, a beautiful boutique hotel. You can check the names, it's in the brochure. You have the information of where we're going to stay. We have one hotel in Athens and we have one hotel in Naxos.
So the hotel also will be like gorgeous in that places.
So
I'm going to share another
directly
picture.
on the beach, almost on the beach, like very close by the beach. Boutique hotel with a green, with sea view, with delicious food, with cozy room as well. So this is our choice and our pick for that island. So we all have our level of comfort for our beautiful body, and we can also rest after the long trip on the land. And when we arrive in the island, we have two sites. We also go to do some work on a beach. There's actually like a beach to visit as a sacred site. So
you integrate and you bring this love and this wisdom that you have collected from all those sites and the journey, and remembering through the collective consciousness those expansion when we have we had as a humanity, we had many golden ages of thriving of humanity, wisdom, connection. In those times, they were connected with nature, they were connected with the earth, they're connecting with the universe, they're connecting with the star. So all this comes with the depth and worth of energy that you can tap into and bring it, and you can reawaken the trust in yourself, about yourself and about the environment.
Especially in Greece. I hope you really feel a passion about Greece.
Yes.
And if you are hearing your calling as well, and actually the name of, if it's our baby is a boy, the name will actually be a Greek name somehow, but you will know in time. So what I wanted to share is here in Greece, you have this beautiful melting pot of, as I mentioned at the beginning, the wisdom of the land, the sacred geometry, the science, the philosophy, the astronomy. Like most of those information that we are aware of today, that we are using in all our technology, comes from Greece at that time. Of course, they were way before as well, through the African continent, through the Asian continent, through South American continent. But Greece had really brought it together through philosophers that you are well aware of, like Plato and many others, to bring this understanding together. And with data, so it can be used for the development of humankind, the development of our technology. So it's something that you will be able to feel and to consider and to appreciate and honor as we go through the land, with all that it has on the side, the connection with the stars, with the solar system, with Sirius and Orion, and maybe also sacred other galactic families that you will reconnect with.
Maybe we connect with Andromeda galaxy.
Religions and civilizations. So wherever you are at, ready to reconnect with or ready to amplify, then it will come to you effortlessly, because we are a group. As a collective, we are in a walking vortex, all of us, like you will see. It's very interesting. So we are a walking vortex.
All the people who've been joining, they are high frequency connected.
Your computer and computer memory and CPU and cloud is in constant work, and you are becoming aware of it, and you are becoming conscious of it. So this unconscious of you become conscious with that experience that we are offering in those retreats that will be done this time in Greece in May 1st to 8th. So that is said, thank you for still watching, guys, and if you have any questions, please let us know.
The link for the brochure and the link for the registration is in the description in the video, either on YouTube or Facebook. You can find it in the description, or contact us directly if you are interested or if you have more questions. So you can join if you want to know more about the group who's coming, which is also very important to understand that most of the people who's joining on Egypt retreat or in Turkey retreat, the past two retreat, most of them, I would say 90%, they were pillar of light, ready to connect, ready to declare their connection and their awakening, and they are in service. So either healer, coach, or yoga teacher. So that means you will joining a community that they are already in the evolution, in the ascension path. So you are getting empowered. You start hearing the story and the connection with others.
Exactly. So if you feel drawn, there is the brochure, there is the registration form. I will put the link after the video on the podcast. Last weekend there was all an introduction talk with George, Asil, and myself in the background to inform what the type of missions, what is the sacred site, what are the benefits for the participants. So I will put that link as well if you feel drawn to watch it for the first time or again, and put the next link as well for this Saturday where there will be a specific talk. So any questions, please know that we are here. I hope you, I think you really got our passion. Greece has been in my heart for years, and being able to experience that with you, or if you are joining with you, it's a really gift, really big gift to each other, I will say. And as we mentioned at the beginning of the talk, trust, mindfulness, to receive, to be aware of what we are feeling, and therefore feeling the resonance where it is calling us, and to make actions upon it. So all is aligning for your divine self, entering more into your vessel as a human, expressing the divine within all your gifts, senses, talents, and expression. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being there.
Quick reminder for the
love
intensive.
The flower crown. Yes, I felt like putting it for the Greece
My
vibe.
goddess is here. My oracle is here. I already have one. Come experience.
That's true.
So quick reminder about the intensive that's happening in how many days?
Next weekend. So in 30th and 40th of March. So in
2
10
days intensive.
Yeah.
We'll be focusing on the life force, Kundalini, tantric practices to awaken your energy and learn how to cultivate the sexual energy and the life force into awakening your heart, awakening your third eye. And we're going to focus on training with practices, lecture and practices about using the third eye and the connection to align. And then you connect higher with your higher self. We're going to talk about a higher self. It's very similar to the Mondays that we have been practicing. So the theme will continue also using the same technology. We'll give a lot of lectures and question and answer about that topic, those topics.
So if you are joining Greece, or if you're in the desire to join the retreats in Greece, know that, or take that 2 days intensive as a practice and preparation.
Those are preparing you, so your vessels when you go to Greece are very connected, strong, and you can experience the energy and hold the energy further. The more your vessels and energy channels and your light body is stronger, you can bring more light into your system. And of course, the more you can know how to circulate the energy within you and harness the power that we have and awaken your third eye, then it will become much easier for you to connect and more depth in your connection and perceiving those energy. So it's our gift to you guys to awaken and stronger your vessel.
And beautiful sisters watching here, I invite you to put a crown of flower to feel how it feels to be a goddess in Greece. And to walk to the temple with your long dress, with your flowers in your hair, and accompanied with beautiful men. We're going to have more men in the retreat as well. So being the Apollo energy as we walk our path of remembering our femininity, of sacred union as well in a broader aspect, and recollecting all our inner power and power of creation to bring forth unconditional love in all its aspects, all its divine qualities. That is the byproduct that is a healthy, harmonized love. Yes.
Experience the crown, because then you can bring your grace as a feminine.
I'm gonna keep it the entire day. I see you tonight with it on Wednesday.
And then if you are looking for a partner, maybe the partner will. We as men will love to experience the grace of the feminine, empowered by this prototype of the goddess, and we would like to share that template, prototype or template or ideal vision for the goddess carrying the crown. And also you might attract to balance also the masculine and feminine energy in the society by you getting in your power and the masculine get in his power, and they can work together in this harmonious state.
Wonderful. Well, exactly 1 hour talk. Guys, we love you so much. Thank you for watching. From our heart to yours, know that you are dearly loved, dearly supported always, and we look forward to seeing you and to hearing from you, to receive your questions about that talk till we meet again tonight or this weekend or next Monday or at the intensive. There's many options. Please join. We love you and we love to hug you as well physically.
Beautiful.
From our heart to yours. See you soon.
Love you guys.
Bye bye.